Hello, welcome to another tutorial. I'm Vanessa, and today we are going to be making this 5 granny square ruffle bucket hat. I think I'm on a granny square spree, especially for this mosaic stitch, because I can't believe this is the 6th tutorial I'm making on these. But anyway, we're going to be making this. I especially love the ruffles of this hat, and this is how it looks like. It is so cute, it is so nice, it is also so simple to do. So grab your crochet hooks. Let's get to this tutorial. Okay, it's very nice, very simple. It comes with a written pattern as well. Links will be in the description. Now, all you need are 5 granny squares. Whatever granny squares that you have, you are going to use them. You don't need these exact ones, although I have separate tutorials on how to make these exact granny squares, so you can go ahead and check them out. And this is how you're going to place your granny square, so like a cross, okay? And I'm going to be using 2 crochet hooks for this, a 3.5 millimeter and a 4 millimeter. Now, I'm using the 3.5 for the joining of the squares. I don't know why I started with the 4 millimeter here, but I ended up changing it. So start with your smaller hook to join the squares, okay? So you're just going to attach your yarn, and this is where I realized that this hook was too big, but I carried on anyway. Yeah, because I like to suffer myself basically. So we are going to put the right sides facing us, facing outside, and make sure that the wrong sides of your square are touching each other before you start joining. Okay, this is me switching to the smaller hook. So make sure that the wrong sides of your squares are touching each other, and we are doing single crochets along the rim of our bucket hat of the squares. So just do single crochets just like that. Make sure you're lining up every stitch into the chain 1 space. Make sure that you are doing 1 single crochet into the chain 1 space as well. I'm very sorry for any background noise, guys. Make sure you are putting 1 single crochets into every stitch. So all the 3, double crochet clusters, you do single crochets, then the chain 1 space, you do a single crochet. That's it. Just as what we're doing. This is how we're going to do the first join. Now, when you join 1 square and you get to the end, this is what it's supposed to look like. Remember, that top square right there is the top of our hat. So we are just going to get the next square, and we are going to attach it right away. So I'm just going into the chain 2 space of the new square, and then into the chain 2 space of the square of our top hat, and then I'm just going to attach it with 1 single crochet. I'm going to go into the chain 2 space again and do another 1 single crochet, and then I'm going to do more single crochets across, making sure I'm matching up my stitches. Just keep going just like that. Put a single crochet into every stitch basically. So I'm just going to let you guys watch. I know I was moving away from the camera a bit, but I'm just single crocheting again. And here we are again. We are just going to grab our next square. I'm just showing you guys how it was looking before. I'm just grabbing our next square, insert your hook into the chain 2 space of the new square, and then into the chain 2 space of our old square, and then you're going to single crochet again, just like that. This hat is very simple. It should be illegal, honestly. Yeah, so I'm just on a roll, just single crocheting until we get to the end, and then we're going to repeat the same thing that we've just done again until we have all our hats like a cross. Okay, so here we are with everything joined together. This is exactly how we want it. And now that my yarn is still on my hook, I'm just going to keep going by seaming the sides. I'm going to insert my 2 single crochets into the 2 chain 2 spaces, and then I'm going to start joining from the sides. Okay, this is what we're going to do. We're just going to match up every single stitch. So I like to have my edges have like a pointy type of thing, so ignore whatever I'm doing here. We're just doing single crochet. I don't know what I was doing. We're just doing single crochets all the way down, and I was out of frame. Okay, here we are again. Now we're just going to match up our stitches again, and then we're going to do single crochet on the side. It's like you're creating a box basically. Yeah, we're going to single crochet all the way down. I'm going to let you guys watch, and then we're going to repeat the exact same thing on the other side, but I'm going to let you guys watch it. Right, so when you get to the end of your one side, you put your last single crochet into the chain 2 space, just like that, chain 1, and then you're going to cut off your yarn, and there we go, we got one side joined together. So our box has started to form. We are going to do the other sides together, just like this. So I like to join my squares from like the top of the hat to the bottom, from the top to the bottom. So that is what I am just adjusting to do. So I'm just going to put my hook into the chain, what's it called? Chain 2 space, just like that. I'm so sorry if I seem unserious, guys. I feel like I've been doing voiceovers for like 8 videos continuously. Yeah, so I'm sorry. But yeah, so you're just going to attach your yarn, and then you're going to start our single crochet into the chain 2 space, do a single crochet, do not forget, and then just match up all the stitches again until you get to the end of joining our boxy thingy. As usual, I'm just going to let you guys watch. Okie doke, so we got all the 4 sides joined. This is what it looks like. It is looking so nice, so cute. Now before we start on the ruffles, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Make sure you turn on the notification bell. Like this video if you do like it. If you have any questions, ask them down in the comment section. Tell me what you think, and without further ado, let's get started on the ruffles. Okay, right, we are going to start by chaining 3, and then you are going to put 2 double crochets into the chain 2 space at the corner. So we're going to be making granny clusters. Okay, these ruffles are going to made up of granny clusters, and these first rows we are going to be increasing into every single stitch. Okay, so 3 granny clusters, then you're going to chain 2, and then into that same hole 3 granny clusters. So into every place that you have like a chain 1 or a chain 2, we're going to have increases there. So chain 1, and then into the next chain 1 space you're going to have 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets. I know I'm going fast, but you know, you should listen to what I'm saying. And then if you would like to watch what I'm doing, just go to the settings and reduce the playback speed so that it's comfortable for you to watch. So I'm doing basically the same thing. 3 double crochets into the next chain 1 space. This entire row 1 of the ruffles is increases. Okay, every single stitch is an increase, and an increase here is 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets. So this is me again. That's our 3rd double crochet, chain 2, and then 3 double crochet. I'm so sorry guys, I'm a fast crocheter, and I also had to fast forward this part, or this video will be way longer than it needs to be. I also have the written pattern for this. So this is where I was supposed to use the 4mm hook, but I forgot because I want the ruffles to be nice and loose. But yeah, So do an increase into every single place that you see a hole. When you get to one of the corners of the squares, just do another increase there basically. So this is the end of row number 1. I'm doing my last increase, 3 double crochets, chain 2 and 3 double crochets. Then I'm going to chain 1 and then I'm going to slip stitch to join the row. So that ends row number 1 of our ruffles. Everything was an increase. Right, to start row number 2, you're going to chain 3, which counts as a double crochet. And then remember that's a chain 1 space. We're going to put 2 double crochets in there. So we have 1 cluster. And then we're going to chain 1. Now all our increases are going to be done on the peaks or on the places where we had chain 2 spaces from row number 1, on the increases of row number 1. So like here we have 3 double crochet, chain 2 and 3 double crochets into that chain 2 space from row number 1. And all the chain 1 spaces from row number 1 are going to be regular granny clusters, okay, no increases. Like this next place, chain 1, then you have the regular granny cluster. So that is 2, that is 3, chain 1, and then we're going to have an increase because that's an increase, that's a chain 2 space. So that is 3 double crochets, chain 2 and 3 double crochets into that same stitch or into that same chain 2 space. So all increases in row number 2 are going to be in the chain 2 spaces from row number 1. Okay, so we're going to continue chain 1. The next is a chain 1 space, so we're just going to do regular double crochets. That's 3 double crochets in there, chain 1, and that is a peak. You can call them peaks because you can see they're really clear, they're like sharp and they're pointed because they act like corners, if I should say. Yeah, so they're like very sharp points. So you're going to do increases in the sharp points, and the increases are 3 double crochets, chain 2 and 3 double crochets, and you're going to do that around the entire hat, and that is going to complete row number 2. I'm just going to let you guys watch. Well, that wasn't a long watch, but anyway, this is the end of row number 2. So I am just completing the last peak or the last chain 2 space, so that is my last increase. So I am going to chain 1 and then I am going to slip stitch to join, and that completes row number 2. Okay, so this is what our ruffles are looking like. So the total number of ruffles for this hat is 4 rows, so we've done 2 rows so far, and I just want to tell you that it is yarn consuming, just so you guys know. Right, now this is where we have to pay attention because the increases here are going to happen into the chain 1 spaces between each rib. Okay, master the ribs where the 2 squares join. Our increases are going to happen between each rib and the middle stitch of each square. Okay, let's do it. Okay, so right now my crochet hook is in a chain 1 space of the rib, so I'm going to chain 3 and I'm going to put 2 double crochets into that particular stitch. Now I am going to skip over this one and not do an increase. I'm going to complete the increase when I'm ending the row. So right here I'm just going to chain 1 and then I'm going to go into the next hole, which is the hole after the rib where the granny squares join together, and then I'm going to do my increase there instead. Okay, I'm going to finish that increase when I get to the end of the row. So right here on that rib I am having an increase, so as you can see that is a hole, so I'm going to chain 1 and then into the next chain 1 space I'm just going to do a regular granny stitch, which is 3 double crochets, and then I'm going to chain 1 and the next stitch is an increase, but I'm going to be doing regular granny stitch in there. So that is 2 3 double crochets, then I'm going to chain 1, and the next stitch, which is a chain 1 space, I am going to do a regular granny stitch there. Remember, our increases are only on the 2 holes on the ribs, or where the 2 granny squares meet, and on the middle stitch. We have not gotten to the middle stitch just yet, so we're just doing regular granny stitches. So we're going to chain 1, and then we're going to put our 3 granny squares right there, then chain 1, and we're going to do our 3 granny squares right there. We're almost getting to the middle stitch. You're going to know when you see it, or I'm going to show you anyway. So chain 1 into the next chain 1 space, we're going to put 3 double crochets, chain 1, and here we are on our middle stitch. So if you take your finger into a straight line down, there is our middle stitch of our granny square. So I'm just going to chain 1, and then I'm going to go into that chain 2 space, because that middle stitch will be a chain 2 space, and I'm going to do an increase right there. So that is going to be a chain 3 double crochets, chain 2, and 3 double crochets. That's a normal increase. All right, and this is what it's going to look like. That's our middle stitch, it's an increase. Okay, then you're going to chain 1, and you're going to do regular granny stitches until you get to those 2 stitches right there, where you're going to do an increase. You're going to go to the next middle stitch, you're going to do an increase, you're going to go to the 2 stitches between each of those granny squares and do an increase. So that is how I decided to do my, don't even ask me why I decided it like that, but I was just doing like a testing and seeing how the ruffles would be, and I really liked the way it came out, so that's what I decided to go for. Yeah, so this is me right here. So this is how the middle stitch looks like. It's nice and clear here, or the rib stitch, the stitch on the ribs, okay, where the 2 granny squares join. I'm calling that the ribs. Okay, so this is my first increase, then I'm going to chain 1, and then I'm going to do another increase, which is 3 double crochets, chain 2, and 3 double crochets into that same chain 1 space. So yeah, those are my increases. So I'm going to repeat everything until I get back to the start. I'm going to chain 1, and remember that was like a half increase that I did right there. So this is me just completing the increase by putting 3 double crochets, and then I'm going to have a chain 2, then I'm going to slip stitch to join, and that completes row number 3. Row number 4, which is our last row, people. It's our last row, don't worry, we're nearly there, nearly there. I was doing this, I haven't done ruffle hats in so long, I forgot how hard ruffle hats were. So our increases here, which is where I already showed you guys, I don't know, I was only talking. Increases on this round will happen only on the middle stitch, so you only have a total of 4 increases here. Okay, so just go ahead and work your normal granny stitch. So whether it's a chain 1 space or a chain 2 space, work 3 double crochets, chain 1, and move on. So you're going to go into the middle stitch, which is where I am right now, 3 double crochets, chain 2, and 3 double crochets in there. Please go to the settings and reduce the speed if it's too fast. Then you're going to chain 1 and move on to the next stitch. I'm just going to show you how it looks like in a minute. So yeah, here we only have 4 increases. You can end in row number 3 if you feel like that's suitable for you. You can measure it on your head, but personally I like to end my rows, especially if it's like a ruffles, in an increase, because I feel like it keeps the ruffles going. If you want to do row number 4 and end it in like regular granny stitches with no increases, that is fine as well. So this is me just finishing up the row with a slip stitch, and there it is, everything is done. So yeah, this is how the ruffles is looking like. This is how everything turned out. So you're just going to tuck in all your loose ends, obviously, and personally I like to carry my yarn as I go. So all you need is 5 granny squares to do this project. Actually very simple, very easy in my opinion. There is obviously a written pattern. If you want to get it, the link is going to be in the description box. And that is basically it. I don't think I've got anything else to say. Yeah, this is a nice and cute hat, perfect for the summer, by the way. Summer is here. And yeah, tell me what you think. Tell me what color scheme you're going to use to make this, and I'm going to see you in my next tutorial. Bye.